We're going to invite a few guests up here on the stage, and we're going to do a rapid fire series of questions, kind of get to know some of our speakers today. Before we get started, we should introduce ourselves. I'm Jeff.
Chip.
With On The Chain. All right, let's start. We're going to introduce in no particular order here, but Crypto Eddie, come up on the stage. All right, blockchain backer. We've got John Deaton. Please. All right, we have Dirk. Dirk, please come up. And we have two guest speakers from Ripple, Ross Edwards and Neil Smith. John.
Testing.
All right. Hopefully, Dirk and John Deaton will show up.
Here we go.
Dirk was here. So, all right. So,
Testing.
does everyone's mic work?
Mic check.
Mic check. Let's do the mic check. Everybody good? Everyone say hello. Hey.
Hello.
I recognize that voice anywhere. Yeah, so we'll get going. Guys, have a seat. Let's relax a little bit. Let's sit down a little bit.
Can I just say one thing?
Please.
Okay. Today's a really historic day. The AMM went live. Yeah, and I think if you had a chance, to listen to a very informative space this morning, there was XRP Markets, which is one of the builders that is being featured tomorrow. He's a really good place to check on the metrics, and vet and scams and a lot of people were there for the beginning of trading. There were 30 plus pairs. All of them were XRP paired except for one. The liquidity is being bootstrapped. So there's a little bit of slippage. And as that price discovery takes place within those pairs, it will, stabilize. But this is a beginning of a very important step for the ledger.
All right.
Woo! Okay, guys, well, thank you for joining us up here on stage. So we're just going to do some rapid fires. I want to get to know the speakers. Who are they? Let's see. Of course, we know Ripple guys, and of course, blockchain background, Crypto Eddie, but let's really get to know them. Now, they don't know these questions. There's no gotcha questions, just having a little bit of fun here. But I'm going to go start over on this side over here, but I'm going to look at us weird, like, what do you got up your sleeve there? No, it's going to be good. So this is a good one right here. So if you could have any historical figure to dinner, invite them out to dinner, living or dead, who would that be? I'll give a little time to think here, a little bit of time.
That's a good question. I think so. I recently went to the museum and I saw the Egyptian section that they have there, and I think if I could get Ramesses up on stage, that'd be a very interesting person to talk to.
All right, nice. I like that. Ramesses. Okay, great.
I'd probably head more towards the, I'm a bit of a maths nerd, did maths in university, etc. Did a lot of sort of historical research then. So I'd probably go for one of the big mathematicians of the past, someone like Euler.
All right. Good questions. Hey, John.
Welcome, John.
John, did you hear the question?
Sorry, but I was attending to Elizabeth Warren.
Hey! Let me reintroduce John Deaton. Senator John Deaton. The next senator is from Massachusetts. John, did you hear that question?
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay, the question was, if you can invite any historical figure, both living and dead, you can invite them out to dinner, who would you invite and why?
I would probably say Ronald Reagan. Yeah, I'd probably say Ronald Reagan. Just ask for advice. He was an underdog like me. and someone who brought the country, made it feel better about itself at a time when the country didn't feel good about itself. And I think that's something that we desperately need in the United States today.
Yes, sir. Well said, well said. Blockchain backer.
It wasn't fair that Egypt got brought up because that's like my thing. Like I watch on Netflix and Disney Plus like every night. I'm like hardcore into Egypt because it's like totally awesome. But yeah, probably like some Egyptian pharaohs or something like that. But like, if we didn't go with that, like baseball is my thing. So just any like old school baseball superstar like Babe Ruth or something like that. And because that's probably my second passion of outside of Egypt is baseball. So probably some old school baseball players. Yeah.
Nice. I like that Egypt and baseball. You got two there. Crypto Eddie, what's
Yeah, well, there's so many people, right, from history, especially if we look back, that we would love to spend a little time with, especially in retrospect to how things are today. It's a tough question because you're asking just for one. That's tough.
if you want to add two, you can add.
I mean, in 20 minutes, we're going to look back on our answers and think something way better than Babe Ruth.
I'm not sure if I could pin it on one particular person, but I think that it's important to maybe visit with people who've made that tremendous impact, even hundreds of years later. One of the people that I think stands out for me that has made an impact across many cultures is Gandhi. So that's who I would want to have some time with.
These are fantastic. Wow, good answers. Putting on the spot. So I was like pretty impressive.
All right, now we're gonna make it easy, and we'll start with Crypto Eddie. Coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee for sure.
See who's gonna win here. Coffee.
My go-to is coffee, but like you can get that same effect for some killer green tea, but it's coffee.
Coffee, there we go. All right.
Yeah, definitely coffee through and through. for me.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Whoa, coffee has it today. I was kind of shocked. I thought we'd hear a little bit of a tea there, but all right. So here we go. There's always, this one everybody can relate to. What is your favorite childhood movie, and why?
My favorite childhood movie. It has to be Star Wars. It's very much it's a very cliche, but I love Star Wars. It's my thing.
The first
It's got to
one.
be the circled, fourth, but it's the first.
The first, right? Fourth in the series, right? John, what do you got?
This isn't going to be a surprise to anyone, but I was 12 years old in the movie watching the first Rocky. And just the underdog.
Another underdog, John.
No, just the underdog. You get a shot at the championship, but the point of the movie is you just want to go the distance. You don't even have to win. You know what I mean? If you go the distance, you win over yourself, because I believe ourselves are our greatest enemies.
I love, yeah. Definitely love all the classics, etc. as well. But yeah, one sort of more kooky cult classic that I remember loving as a kid was a movie called The Burbs. And I just love this idea that just everyday life is actually exciting. There's nothing magical or mystical about it. Just everyday occurrences in the neighborhood are exciting. So that was awesome.
I don't really have any like movie in particular, but like I remember my behavior as a kid, and like I see it in the same behavior in my kids, and you probably do too. But like you find a movie and you just watch it a million times for some reason. And like I remember for some reason a Goofy movie with like Goofy and his son, and like they went on this travel road trip thing together. I remember watching that a million times. But like if I think of a movie that even still is a banger, is A Christmas Story, where he wants to get the BB gun. And, just like John was saying, he was real passionate about it. He kept asking and never gave up. And then he got his BB gun. And I remember that's still a really good movie to me. But it was never really movies for me. It was TV shows and watching lots of like repeat. And The Simpsons was the big thing for me in my childhood. And I actually share that with my daughter now. We watch The Simpsons every night still. So it's still part of my life.
Shoot your eye out, kid. Shoot your eye out. Crypto Eddie, what do you got?
So it wasn't my favorite movie when I first saw it for the very first time. It scared the living daylights out of me. And I was with a babysitter. I remember my parents were gone and we were watching The Wizard of Oz. And that movie just absolutely scared me, but has turned out in my adult life to be my favorite movie. And it is one of those movies I can continue to watch over and over and over again.
Awesome. All right. Now imagine this one. You're on a deserted island and you can only bring 2 or 3 bands with you that are going to be with you the entire time. Which 2 or 3 bands would you bring with you?
Should I go up?
You can start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's easy for me because these are the 3 favorites that I've had and it doesn't change. I love music. I'm an absolute music otaku is what we call it in Japanese, which means you're like a super fan. I'm a super fan of music, but it would be Bob Marley, the Beatles, and Led Zeppelin.
Whoa, loving that. Who knew?
That's hard to beat.
A hard act to follow.
What a rocker you are, huh?
Mine are different.
I thought you were gonna go with the same, like, I can't believe you brought up Zeppelin. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know if, and many of you know. I'm not going to say Taylor Swift, but we all know.
you're a
Okay,
I got it.
like
okay.
probably Blue October, Lincoln Park, like
Mm.
2001 Hybrid Theory Lincoln Park,
Very nice.
and surprise, Limp Bizkit.
Oh, there we go.
Some good choices. I'll probably go back to the more historical rock. I love sort of 70s rock. So I'd go with like Creedence Clearwater, probably Kansas, funnily enough. And there's so many to pick from, but yeah, I love a bit of Pink Floyd as well.
All right, NWA, because I want to hang out on that island
Yeah.
with Ice Cube. I would go with Kiss, and because I'd like to hang out with Gene Simmons as well, and I like their music. And Bruce Springsteen.
So I think if I was unlucky enough to be stuck on a desert island, I'd want to have some more of a vibe happening. So I think my sort of go-to is electronic music, and I love Armin van Buuren and Paul Oakenfold. And if I can get those guys there, we can have a party and perhaps get rescued. You never know.
Yeah. Like that. So here's another one. So if you had a time machine, which period would you go back to and why?
Okay, so perhaps I'll start. Definitely not the Egyptian period. After I saw those mummies, that was, I think that was enough of a turn off for me. But I think if I wanted to go back in time, I think I'd want to go back to sort of the time of chivalry and knights and, bashing people up with armor. You never know.
John?
Revolutionary period,
Any specific date?
just to fight for freedom.
Nice.
It's a difficult one because I'm under no illusions of what life was like across some of these times. And we definitely live in good times in many ways, health-wise. But I'll probably go for the sort of, the old time, like time of knights and battles, in old England as well.
A couple thoughts coming to my mind. Like the first one is like, how about like January 2009 and buy Bitcoin for a penny?
Yes.
Yeah, that one's pretty easy. But I would like maybe a more respect, like maybe
Best
like,
answer for the whole day, right there.
yeah. Or like to like when Jesus was around or something, like that would be cool. Or
Bitcoin and Jesus. That's what we got
Yeah.
out of this conference.
Bitcoin Jesus. Sounds like a new band, really.
and then again, the Egypt thing would be crazy. I mean, these people were wild, man. Like wrapping themselves, believing in all these gods and all this craziness. It's a very interesting time period to go back and actually see. But Jesus or Bitcoin, probably.
That's a great answer. Yeah. So there's so many times in history with golden ages that I think would be phenomenal to visit. There's one area of the world, though, which spans a few different eras. So it would be the time where the Silk Road was a major time in our lives that had trading. I kind of think of it as the way it is today, where we have the internet to trade and talk to each other. And imagine the Silk Road did a lot of some of the same things, bridging cultures and different people together, and people were able to exchange value for a very long period of time and on geographically a very long space. So I'm fascinated with the golden era of the Silk Road.
Awesome. All right. What is one thing that can instantly make your day better that you do?
My daughters.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We didn't
Mix it up.
prepare for this.
That's the best part.
A nap.
Food, for sure. But no, more can, yeah, family. I mean, right? I don't know if you have kids, but you have little kids and, you know, sometimes they're a piece of, they're very animated, you know, and then, but then when they have that one moment where they're really sweet and they make you feel special for just a second, that moment.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the kids are one thing, although they can also ruin your day quite quickly. But I live near the beach, so yeah, I think my best days is when I get down to the beach and have a swim at like 6 a.m. in the morning, sunrise, etc. That's the best way to start a day.
Hanging out with my daughters and watching a Crypto Eddie video.
All right.
So I think, so my kids are a little bit older, so perhaps the best time is when, so my eldest has just got her Ps, so she can drive. So the highlight of the day is when she can actually, you know, pick me up from the station or the pub, or, you know, having a good time. So the best time is when, you know, she's being independent and can, I can call her up as my Uber.
Speaking of my daughters, wave girls, please. There's my daughters over there.
Jordan.
They're very
and
mad at me
Layla,
right now.
Right? Jordan and Layla.
Olivia and Jordan. Layla's the 5-year-old, but Olivia
Sorry.
is almost as tall because she's 4'11" over there. But she's 23 and Jordan's 22.
Come on in a little bit and say hello. Come on in here
Congratulations
a little
on
bit. Don't be
your-
shy.
on
Come
your
on and walk
studies.
in a little bit. Okay, I got it. There you go. All right, guys. Yeah, yeah, come on up here. Fantastic. All right, if you had one superpower, just one superpower, what would it be and then why?
Well, I think if I had one superpower, it'd be to be able to, you know, perhaps go back in time to, you know, 2009 to make that purchase. That would have been a fantastic superpower to have. So if I could see the future, that'd be the superpower I'd have.
He just stole mine. I was going to say, see the future.
The future is good.
I mean, definitely I like that one. But I'm more old fashioned, you know, maybe just the age-old flying around would be quite good, particularly to see different places. I love traveling, so.
Time travel would be cool, but it would like take all the mystery out of life. We'd like always know what's going to happen and what has happened. Probably be good, but yeah, probably flying just to explore. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the time travel is kind of cool, but I agree with you. I'm not so sure I want to know the future. So I would love to be able to transform into any sort of being or person or animal. Just have that transformation power. That would be pretty cool.
Nice.
All right, here's a really good question. Now you think back as a kid and you dreamed of being a specific profession. What was that profession?
Yeah, that's easy for me because I was going to be a horse trainer. Yeah. So that is, and I didn't even come close, but that is, that was the original plan.
You're a crypto trainer. It's close. Close enough.
I think back to like when I was a little kid and it was astronaut. But then I remember when I got into like college and stuff, like the goal was to be an entrepreneur and then also really interested in finance at the same time. And that is not the way life ended up playing out for a long time. It ended up being me working a lot of different kinds of jobs, corporate jobs, and during the great financial crisis, kind of getting jobs I didn't really like. And that's just where life just took me at that time. And then, but the passion was always to be my own boss because I did not like working for people. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And at the exact same time, it had a lot to do with trading at the same time. And I went through a lot of difficult road paths to get to where I am today, but it's really weird to kind of be where I am now. I don't know if the YouTube part of it was really in the equation, like when I was in college, but it is really interesting to be where I'm at because I'm kind of settled into where I want to be. But it was a really weird path to get here. But like if I think of like, as a child, it was astronaut. But I think like when I was in my early 20s, it was this. And so I like what I do. So it's cool.
Definitely as a kid, it was always as as a football player. And by football, I mean soccer. I played a lot as a kid. Didn't quite make it, unfortunately, but things have ended up pretty well. I think, yeah, in that sentiment, when I was older, definitely trading. Although, funnily enough, some of my nature, I'm hopeless at trading, which I'm sure many can appreciate.
Well, as a small kid, I wanted to be a football player, a real football player, by the way. And then as a teenager, a rapper. Yay, yay!
Still want to hear that album, John. We got to hear that cut.
Well, so as a kid growing up, I was in the UK, and the back fence we had when it used to snow. There's a sort of a hill. I used to get out on a toboggan, go down the hill, speeding down the hill, and I had dreams of being like, I'm not sure if you remember this, but Eddie the Eagle. Have you ever seen Eddie the Eagle? Being a ski jumper, that'd be fantastic.
Good answers. Really on the fly.
I like the astronaut, Wen Moon. Yeah,
Yeah, Jeff, we don't know how that's going to pan out, but yeah. See,
We got one more.
what's time? How we doing on time? Yeah, probably has room for one more.
I think so. Maybe even two. We do the spirit animal, and then we have a really important one at the end.
Yeah.
So let's pick spirit animal. If you had to have a spirit animal, what would it be?
Perhaps I'll go.
Yeah. I just heard my answer in the audience there. Everybody thinks I'm a cat person. I am, obviously. I'm an animal person, though. I had dogs and cats and chickens and horses, and we had just a menagerie as I grew up. So, but today, being that I'm in the city, cats are easier than dogs, so I have cats. So I guess my spirit animal would be a cat. In particular, I'm going to pick the breed, okay? A Tonkinese cat, a very 4,000-year-old ancient Asian breed. That's the one.
They're big or small?
Oh, they're pretty small,
Small?
actually. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
They were bred to protect the monks' writings in the temples from mice. So they have a long history in Asia, in Thailand, in Burma, which is now called Myanmar. And so it's a very interesting breed. They're a cross between the Siamese, so they have these gorgeous blue eyes. And that's the breed that I chose to have now. And they're really, yeah, I recommend. So if you can find a Tonkinese and you're a cat person, it's a good breed. I'm not a cat breeder, so I'm not plugging.
I just don't have that good of an answer. Maybe a lion. And that's all I got. It's a lion.
As I said before, I'm a bit of a water person. So in the eastern beaches in Sydney, we have these fish, specifically blue gropers, and they're very large, slow, chilled out fish. They look like they're always enjoying themselves, and they're very friendly. So I think that would be my spirit animal.
Normally, I would say a hawk or an eagle, but after seeing the koalas, they're so chill. I'm kind of leaning toward them now.
I was pretty keen on the koala too. I think that the logo for this event, that was, I sort of felt that was my spirit animal. Just hanging out, surfing, having a good time. I thought it was cool.
Excellent. So, what's that one app on your phone we should all know about? I'm just kidding. It's not. No, it's just what's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
I probably got up on stage here, I think.
Since my daughters are here, I'm gonna pass.
John? Girls, plug your ears. Let's go.
Where do I go from that? I mean, I think I used to do a lot of sort of adventure sports, so jumping out of planes, but I find bungee jumping a lot more scary, particularly in less than dubious arrangements. So probably jumping off things.
So jumping out of planes wasn't it? It was the bungee jumping.
First of all, jumping out of a plane actually wasn't that scary. Going up in the plane is scarier because some of those planes look like death traps. So I was quite happy to get off. But definitely some bungee jumping arrangements make me a little nervous.
Yeah, I'd go with that. I've been skydiving before, and it was just a whim of the moment that we decided to do it one day. And like you said, it is actually more scary going up in the plane. And by the time you actually are at the door, it's not actually that scary once you're at the door and ready to go. And then probably being up on the stage, like most of the time, I'm behind a computer. Like, every time I am behind a computer, and it is a number on the screen. And now there's a lot of faces that are associated with it at the same time. And to decide to finally do this was a big jump, and not only just to travel across the world to do it, but to get up here and actually do this. I was pretty nervous that there was going to be like some serious anxiety that was going to happen with this. It was a big jump to do this. I'm actually handling it quite well, I think. And so this is a pretty big moment for me right here to be doing this. But outside of like life-threatening, crazy things, probably jumping out of an airplane. Yeah.
I'm having some serious anxiety right now.
Oh,
I'm okay, but I am not a very spontaneous person. Actually, I plan a lot in life, and the spontaneity of situations makes me a little nervous. But yesterday I did something that was spontaneous. I got in the car with Dirk from
I was in that car.
from
Crypto Eddie says, that's weird. I got a Mercedes too. It doesn't make this noise. And Dirk was flying down the road. I was in the back seat.
He just said, "Hey, we're going to lunch." And I said, "Okay." And I had no idea what was in store. Dirk, who's the founder of Expectar, who's going to be speaking at this conference, I warn you, be careful.
I have
Hey,
the video.
Chip, I will give you one that everyone can appreciate. Maybe the most recent spontaneous thing I ever did was sue the SEC.
Yes. And you took it home. You were the hero that brought it home, John.
Oh, and you and Jeff were along the way early on. I think 2 weeks afterwards, I went on your show. So you guys are a big part of it. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You guys out there that threw down and put your name in the hat, and we're part of the entire experience. 76,000 people, 3,000 affidavits. Amazing. So I think we have maybe a quick one. We have a rapid fire one.
Let's see, do we have a quick one? We had a really good one. What one goal do you have for the next year? If you can answer it quick, we got a minute and a half.
Minute and a half, go.
Really fast. I made the commitment to learn how to edit my videos a year ago. I did it. I feel really happy I did. It's opened up a few more doors. This goal has now turned into bringing as many developers onto the XRP ledger and the ecosystem as possible.
My 2023 goal was to figure out what happened in the altcoin market that was so different in 2021 versus 2017. I do feel like I pretty much solved that. And my goal for 2024 was to bring more awareness and pretty much awareness to development on the XRP ledger and how important that is based off of that data that I have discovered, which I will be presenting here tomorrow. So my goal is, and that's why I'm here, just, you know, like travel across the world, not just to be at a conference and come on stage, but to also show support for the builders and the development and the growth of the network value. And that's been my goal for 2024. And that's what I'm going to plug away at throughout the year. I'm not a developer. I don't have the technical knowledge to know how to do any of this stuff, but I've looked at the data to see the importance of it, and I'm here to support that.
I think for me, you know, definitely over the next year, get yeah, more connected with a lot of the community projects and actually just use this stuff more. I mean, I know I work for Ripple, but in very specific areas, engage with, yeah, predominantly financial institutions. Yeah, I really want to get more in touch with the new functionality coming through. We talked about the AMM earlier. Actually use it. I think practitioners are always sort of the best people to be able to, you know, build on this, and that's the goal over the next year.
It's an easy one to be the next U.S. Senator for the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Be fantastic if that doesn't succeed, you can come down and be a senator here. But I think for 2024, a similar sort of goal is to connect with the community, help educate people, the builders who are using the XRP ledger, and really help everybody succeed.
Great, thank you. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming up here because it was a little bit of the moment. You guys came up here, you guys didn't know the questions, and you guys knocked it out of the park. So thank you very much, guys, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.